Well, pardon, sir. We're, as you can hear by that, what do they call atmospheric river? Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to an inauspicious morning here in the canyon where, ladies and gentlemen, latimals and garanimals, I had hopes, I had plans, and the weather report goes like this. Gonna rain, not gonna rain, gonna rain, not gonna rain. It said 30% chance of rain today. It is now updated to where it is 8 o'clock in the morning. It is not going to stop raining again until 6 o'clock tomorrow. So we're forecast for like, who knows? Who cares? It's going to be a lot. It's not going to stop raining. So what I do is I ruin my whole day by 6 a.m. I did it in two easy steps. My first step was during the review of the Element Enduro 12, which I am not a huge fan of. I said, I make a conscious effort not to watch reviews or anything like that because I want my review to be my impression. How do I feel about it in that moment, going from the box to the rocks? So we're going to talk. This episode is all over the place. So if you stay tuned in for this, thank you much. I want my impressions on it unfiltered and uninfluenced. Then I made a catastrophic error. I have definitely mentioned in the past on other installments that I don't watch a lot of crawler content on YouTube. And I don't think anything could reinforce that more than what I sat through this morning. I watched about 45 minutes to an hour of content. And let me summarize it by this. I don't single anyone out. I don't name names. I'm not throwing anyone under the bus. But I could not successfully make it to the end of any of the videos. This is a Thunder Tiger Hilux underneath. That's what this is. Oh, but it has new parts on it. What this is familiarity breeds contempt. The longer it's here and the more I think about it, the more upset I get about it. Because we have other channels who shall not be named talking about how, speaking in hyperbole, and it is genuinely infuriating because I have zero desire to mislead anyone. I have no reason to say that something is bad. I have no underlying motives. I love elements. For those who are familiar with the channel, how many Element vehicles are here? Baseline, the Enduro SE, which looks a lot like this but is bigger, is one of my favorite vehicles. It has more wheel time than everyone else here. And here's one of the problems. On one of the channels, they set this down next to their version of this, only theirs didn't look like this. Theirs was so shiny, it looked like they just pulled it out of the box. So I know I cannot value that review from that person. Their SE, which came out, 2 years ago, had less scratches on it than this, which has been out of the box for a couple of days. Drive them. Don't. I didn't keep an accurate track, but the number of minutes that could be compiled that were people talking about the neat board game inside the box are... There's a YouTube standard thing that you have to fill out at the beginning of every video, which controls your ad suitability. Like, what ads can we show? Are you running around dropping F-bombs? Are you showing people firing guns into the sky? Is there blood? Is there gore? Are there just outright dishonesty? Are people actively lying? Well, people are actively lying because nobody is checking any of those boxes to announce either disinformation or misinformation. Because they absolutely are. Every channel to a man talked about how impressed they were with it's not here. What was here? The Fly Sky 2-in-1. Oh, the smoothness, the control. In what world? If you have no I tell myself, don't let him. Don't let him. But at the same time, those people have reach, and those people have a platform, and those people are abusing it. And it makes me furious. I have come to grips with the fact that there are channels out there with 20 times my number of subs, 40 times my number of subs, 500 times my number of subs. And I will never get to their level because I never want to be at that level. I don't want to be at the level where I pull something out of a box and then I just lie to your face. There's no... I don't want to scream so loudly that the gentleman who bought this feels like he flushed the money down the toilet. It's a lot better now that it's half UTB 18. But this is the Red Cat Ascent all over again. The Red Cat Ascent is still somehow in the conversation, and this thing, which is a Thunder Tiger Hilux 12 with a cheaper body, all cheaper electronics. Go look up the Thunder Tiger Hilux 12 and find the picture where it's like this and try to convince me that it's not the exact same thing. You don't think it interesting that Element fits all of their 1/10 scale models with universals, but this one has CVDs, and not just CVDs, but the type with the spring wire retainers to hold the CVD pins in? It's a Thunder Tiger. They made some new plastics for it. They gave us a non-branded servo. They gave us the worst motor I've ever tested, the Reedy Crawler 380. I had long thought that the Reedy Crawler 540 and 550 5-slots were the worst motors I would ever encounter, and Element blew it out of the water. They absolutely provided something infinitely worse. No one in any review mentioned anything remotely, review mentioned anything even remotely negative short of, oh, the tires feel a little, again, I'm acting like they're there. Oh, the tires feel a little firm. A little firm? A little firm. They talked about how great these were and how good the control is, and that is an outright lie. It feels horrific. As I said in my review, if this combo feels better than what you're given, you've messed up so badly. It's unjustifiable at $200. It's unjustifiable at any price. And the second part of ruining my day is I tried to add my eldest son to my car insurance this morning, and the number that appeared literally made me gasp. What a time to be alive. So I thought to myself, let's go out there and rant for a little bit because it's cathartic. I know I have we've got the 404, we've got that listener base, and I feel like I don't care if it's echo chambery. I don't care if I'm saying things to a group, if I'm preaching to the choir, people who agree with what I'm saying. I just hope that one or two people will stumble in here and then not buy one of these. It's such a cool looking little truck, but what is underneath is not okay. And that doesn't even get into the all-plastic gears in the gearbox, which on the one hand I understand, and I can't fault too much. The UTB 18 comes stock with all-plastic gears in the gearbox. You can replace those with metal gears. They're already available. But if you put anything more powerful than what's in here now, what's going to happen? I'm operating from a place of assumption that the person who purchased this and will be receiving it once I box it up to ship it to him, I doubt he's going to he might throw some stickers on it. But I don't think he's going to do much more. So it should be absolutely fine because it's a lot better now, and he can dispose of that Lilo battery and put a little 2800 in there, and he could charge it once every 3 months. Hand it off to a buddy, let him mush around a little. It will actually crawl now. But my God, it's not even being a shill, because I see it from channels with low subscriber numbers. What is their motivation? I can't understand. I don't have the insight into what prompts people to say disingenuous things. I wish I could, but I can't. So, I will tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish up whatever this is. This is a Tuesday rant brought about by the loud noises hitting the roof. Yeah, it's just that one puddle is full to the hole is now full to the top again. We had a grand old time running this boy around, and when I look at his chassis and think of those comments, it still makes me laugh. I am going to go a little bit of the comments, a little bit of me. We're basically just going to move these over to these. Just going to do because once I ran these wheels on there, I was like, oh, that looks so good. So swapping the hubs, because these are deeps and these are standards. Maybe it was the standard wheel that made it look better. I don't know. He's going to narrow down a little bit, and then we're going to bring Daphne over here because Daphne got a present from the Amazon money. She is going to a Rhino crawler, the S20 1450 kV, because as I had mentioned, she runs this length motor. She runs one just like this 9i mod, but she runs the 1470, and it's a little long because she sits so low with her wilderness axle conversion that the motor hits the drive shaft. So I thought if I get her something a little shorter, we can eliminate that problem. I had also said when this guy was running yesterday, he would probably benefit from a little bit less KV. So he is going to inherit Daphne's motor, and then I will have what an upside downside. Yeah, still in the boxes. 3542 1850, 3542 1850, 3542 1850. So some near future build is unquestionably getting a 3542 1850. Why do I have 3 of them? And then we can talk. Tomorrow is Wheelin' Wednesday. There will be a Wheelin' Wednesday. I have a bunch of stuff to test, and I can't test it. It's supposed to be done soon. I think great minds think alike. Someone in the comments of the Enduro 12 said, stop giving us 2-in-1s and start giving us affordable brushed options. And I thought that is apparently they're inside my head at the time, because prior to even making that video, I had already put orders in. This is a Hack Moto 540 from Yeah Racing. I think it's the cheapest rebuildable 540 you can get on A-Main. It's like $16. So I thought we're going to give that guy a try. I got the other hobby wing. I got a 555. This is the 13 turn, which should be about the equivalent of a 27 turn 540, which means it'll be a little crispy, but we're going to test it on baseline and as low geared down as we can. And we're going to do a whole gamut of tests, because over here waiting for a nice day, there's the old Team Brewed Doomsday wired up on my second one, because it is connected to an Enduro. Enduro is making a 10th scale brushed ESC now, and I want to properly test this, because if we're putting up something against the venerable 1080, we need to test it across the board. When these were not on sale, this was one of the more expensive hand wounds that Team Brewed was selling. I think this guy was going about $90 when they were full price and not on clearance. I paid less, but it's not a motor you can buy now. I'm more of a fan of big blocks. I want to test this speed control across the board on from 16 bucks all the way past 50 bucks. I've got the Tekin 35 HD all the way up to like 90 bucks. I want to see what this will do because I really want to see what it will do in this configuration. This is pre-release to my knowledge. I have no idea how much it's even going to cost, but we have to operate under the assumption that it's going to cost less than a 1080. I have very minimal spec knowledge of it, but seems good so far. It has 0 rock time on it yet. So we're going to see how that works. We're going to test these motors. We are going to, Daphne, someone in the comments asked me if I'd done any reviews on the S12 and the S20, and I have not, despite the fact that we have a couple of them here. So I had ordered this one almost specifically for that reason. It will get mounted up in Daphne. Daphne will do the quick view of the Rhino Crawler RMS20, and I will have to compare that mentally to any of the other number of Outrunners that we have tested here in the past. I bought a set of the 1.9 carbon wheels. I think they're Glowbacks. They're not nearly as light as the 2. These actually weigh more than the 2.2s because the inner rings are aluminum, which I thought was an interesting choice. But I'm anxious to try these on someone. I have a set of Class 1 tusks here for testing. Those need to be tested. We're formulating a backlog of stuff, and I have the perfect excuse today. It's excellent. I'm not painting, and I think everyone can tell why. So, I'm telling you, it works. It works. Just yell at a cloud for a little bit, and it'll bring you down. I've almost forgotten that insurance quote, which I clutched my pearls. It was truly something else. And I think I'll be all right for the rest of the day, not thinking about the Enduro 12, and I will make every effort imaginable not to watch any further Enduro 12 content because it is, man, it is, what people are doing is categorically not okay. So the way we really properly wind down from that is bench therapy. We're going to move some beadlocks around. I need to, these are down here because these still have the Famonda / non-Endura inserts. Those need to be pulled out. I need to pull the non-Enduras out of a set of tusks, which are right up here. I ordinarily do beadlock Thursdays for whatever reason. I end up doing a bunch of beadlocks on Thursdays, but apparently it's going to be beadlock Tuesday, and I'm going to just quietly, with loud music to drown out the rain, I'm going to remount some wheels. I'm going to move some inserts around. I'm going to install a motor and uninstall a motor, and I'm going to do some routine maintenance. And you know what? It's going to be lovely. So, I don't know. I got another set of beadlocks. These need to be assembled and mounted. Oh, it is definitely Beadlock Tuesday. You know what? I was going to go through the outro, but I'll see you guys in a few seconds after the blur. And we'll just see how the day is going, and we'll pray for an at least modestly dry Wheelin' Wednesday in that meantime. Sometimes there's just no replacement for bench therapy. There is no substitute. What you got to do is you got to get in there and you got to wrench, and then you feel better about stuff. Rhino Crawler S20, 1450 kV. She was actually on a 9 iMod 1400, so we went up and okay, we're not going to bother to change the pinion or anything. Oh, by the way, this is not her low-speed control because her 2-speed is in high. The low-speed control looks more like that. If we show it from the side here, we can get a little. I mean, it's what you're looking for. And hearkening back to a comment that was made where they were mentioning that their 9 iMod it's got to be these vanes back here. We'll get Ghost Rover and her back to back. It's got to be the vanes because it's just quiet. And in second gear, you can hear how much of its gear noise. That's a quiet motor. And there is a lot of torque in that motor as well. Like, it is full electronic anchor status. You are not getting rollback. So the whole purpose of this, the entirety of the endeavor, was because when the drive shaft comes up right there, we've tweaked it around enough to where now the motor doesn't hit. But you can see on the motor that is in the Ghost, you can see where it was hitting. Oh yeah. That's just better. That's just much better. I found a combination of hubs that brought him out to the exact same track width that he was when we started. Just kind of where we wanted to be because I was happy with his track width. All of this, it's not supposed to be like that. That was from where it was actually physically rubbing on the drive shaft. I feel like we've cured it. Now, speaking of low speed control, when you are on the menu that shows where your cruise control is set, because we're throttle channel is reversed, so you'll see a negative. It says -7 right there. In a lot of brushed setups, you won't get any motion at all until you have this dialed to about 15, 18, 20. And that's where you'll begin to creep in. So there's -7. And as you saw, Daphne was going even slower. Can we go slower than 7? There's 6. There's 5. So this is 5% throttle. Can we go to 4? No. 4 we stop. So 5% throttle, we've still, and you know, because it's an outrunner, we can, oh, I'm out of frame. Let me nudge back a little here. Because we're dealing with outrunners that produce plenty of power, we can just, oh, come on, come on, come on, little guy. 5% throttle. But you do get the howl. I don't know how, I mean, this guy with these gears, with the single gear stealth, this guy is quiet. He is the ghost. Silent as a ghost. I did not guess correctly. I do hardwire on him and many other outrunners, and it's 50-50. You're either going to wire it up in forward or you're going to wire it up in reverse, and I indeed did solder it in reverse. It takes 5 seconds to remedy it. Daphne is quiet, particularly for a TRX4, but this guy's real quiet. So we were moving rims around. These were the rims that were formerly on yellow before he got his 2.2 Tusks. I am going to be terrible, and I'm just going to leave, you know I'm going to leave all these batteries installed in these rigs when they go back, and they'll be like, where are all the batteries? So there was a little bit, all we did here was a wheel move. We took off his old wheels and went to this, and that's a nice. I think these were potentially too much silver on Ghost Rover, but against that kind of aqua-y color there, yeah, he looks great. It's a little bit of a wide boy. The narrowest I had were 9s. I would prefer 6s. Bring him in a little bit. He's just under 11 inches. He's like 10 7/8. I'd like him down about 10.5. So we could go down to a 6mm hub. Pull that in a little bit. Standard hex is in the front, wide hex is in the rear. It gives us the exact same wheel track front to rear because he's got the G2, Daphne's old G2 kit on there. So we're doing what we do. We're moving parts around. Everybody is intermingled with everybody else. And I did indeed The last thing that I did mere moments ago, these are Hobby Parks gray and black, because, and we only use 2, because we're running a positively hybrid setup. Gotta get him down here on this big boy right here. This is our experimental set that we're going to go with for a minute. I didn't want to break up any sets. I don't have another set of 2 wheels, and I'm not crazy about these. These have been in the box and in the bins and getting rotated around as a test set of 2 wheels for some time now. And you know, I don't mind them on there. They look fine. They're fine. They're not amazing, but the tires work great. And because we had to opt for such a soft foam, he could actually get away with softer. You can see they're not even really bagging out very much at the bottom because we're spreading all that load around onto 4 tires. So not wanting to break up a set, the only pair of tires, I thought I had a pair of hunks, and then I remembered they're on Zobazu now. So the only pair of tires I have are these Scorpios, and we've really noticed this doesn't really make much of a difference what's on the front of this thing. So we mounted the Scorpios on a set of fairly identical, cheap gunmetal Method 105s. Didn't even bother with scale hardware or anything like that. This guy beats up wheels. And we actually pulled his track in a little bit. He was on these copper wides, just out of frame over there. Is a lot of stamped steel white wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of stamped steel, and here would be set number 6. That's the only set that's mounted to wheels right now. I don't know what I'm going to do with all of them. We will figure something out. So much, just, you know, you move some beadlocks around, you get that ground in dirt into your fingertips. You get, oh, you know what I almost forgot. So, after the rain, I am genuinely hoping for I want a Jolly Green pull sometime this week. We need a Jolly Green. Even if I just do a little early on a 2 for day, get Jolly Green out there, test his new tire setup, and, you know, I had mentioned that we got those parts. It's a little tough to see right here. 3,300. You can't run a pinion smaller than a 12 because that motor's got a 5mm shaft. So 1245 2-speed. I've spun it up on the bench. It is very dumb. Very dumb. This thing moving at some speed is going to be woo! It's going to be something. I am looking forward to seeing that. I hope that there's been a tonal change between the first time. I'm just leaning on Susan over here. Susan is right under my elbow. She's a great elbow rest. I hope that there is a noticeable change in tone from the start of this to the finish. It has been several hours of just good old wrenching time. Has not stopped raining for even a second. But you know what? I'm fine with it. I have to go to the pharmacy right now. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Like, it's terrible. I got to go out in the rain. And the people can't drive here when it's dry. They really can't drive when it's raining. But we accomplished things. We moved wheels and tires around. We moved motors around. I think today is a day of net sum good. We got positive results to everybody. We've got tests waiting to be performed on other vehicles. We got to get them. Maybe I will just give me a clear afternoon. I can just take these 3 out and smush them around and see what the results are of our rainy day parts moving about. This is what happened. I understand I have a very vloggy content, so today is a vlog of the day because it won't stop raining, and there's more stuff that needs taken apart and put together, and things that need to be cleaned, and guys that need repairs performed. But you know what? sometimes you get to a point in the day and you feel like you go, nah, feels pretty good, man. So leaving it on a high note, thank you so much for watching. Tune in for actual genuine content at a soonish date. You know, we find out what we find out. I'll see you again soon. I hope that in between now and then you all one and all do your very best to have a good one, everybody. I will catch you in the next one, which is hopefully more things. But I know people love a rant. I feel like a little catharsis. I feel like it's out of my system. I will see you all next time. Me and all of the folks here, everyone involved, we will welcome you back to the canyon with open arms. Unless you're an Enduro 12.